What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Scream 8 in this video here today. So this is all rumored. It's not confirmed because it's coming from Production Weekly. But Scream 8 is going to be shooting in Atlanta this upcoming March. This is the latest update that we've gotten on the project from Production Weekly. And this would be right after Scream 7 drops in theaters if this is true and does not change. We know this would be the same area that 7 shot at. And thank you to Kay for sending this information over to me, and I hope you're doing well if you're listening to this. Knowing what I know about Scream 7, I'm still struggling to be completely excited about this or even Scream 8. There is so much coming out about Scream 8 rumor-wise, even though none of it's confirmed. There's so much coming out about Scream 8 that's kind of just making the thought of even enjoying Scream 7 impossible for me. Which is why I hope when I watch it, I am able to enjoy it. Plot-wise, when it comes to Scream 7, the most exciting aspects are the alleged opening scene, which could blow 5 and 6 out of the water if done well enough. And then there's Gale's potential angle after running over the escaped mental patient, which is something I've addressed as far back as January of this year. Everything else I've heard about Scream 7 sounds like more of the same. Sidney and Gale's bond seems to be getting a bigger spotlight, which I like that because that can solidify why Dewey's death was in fact an important step as it relates to him being the glue for those two in their story and their history and just bringing them closer together. Some predictions I have about Scream 7 include Sidney's daughter probably being a red herring, Sidney's likely going to live again as she should, but that's tired, and all the other returning stars probably are not going to die either. This is where Scream 7 is going to need to make Tatum's friends interesting enough so we care about them when they die. And I really do think leaning on Tatum and her friend group will be the stronger suit versus leaning on Sidney Prescott and what she's up to, since we know Sidney's just going to make it out of this alive. You have to make the friend group of Tatum's very engaging. Give each character some sort of aura, because I'm not expecting everyone to be this well-written character piece, but at least make their personality shine, make them likable, make us care when they die, and make Tatum herself likable and make us connect with Tatum. Sidney, we know, is going to just make it out of it, so you need to lean on Tatum in that friend group to really make the overall experience of Scream 7 better when your main protagonist, we know, is going to make it out of this alive. I don't know, man. I'm just hungry for Scream to put down its legacy characters and anyone connected to them, including Sam Carpenter. What brings a thought process like this on for so many of us, myself included, and others in the fandom, is we've actively been reminded while watching this franchise that Ghostface has grown into an icon that surpassed Sidney's story. Yet here we are just running in place with a costume that has likely been worn by countless other nut jobs who couldn't give a rat's ass about Sam or Sidney. Sam says that the last time this happened was in 2011 during Scream 5, but she's speaking as a Woodsboro resident. Then in Scream 6, Kirby, who has already left Woodsboro, tells us she takes a special interest in Ghostface attacks. So Kirby is seemingly aware of other people doing this, and we know we met 2 people like that at the start of the film. Well, one half, because the other one was already dead in the refrigerator. But again, Kirby is seemingly aware of other people doing this, and yet here we are stuck with Sidney and friends or Sam and friends. Anything connected to Billy, Maureen, we're just stuck with that. But the Pine Grove setting in Indiana does look gorgeous from what I have seen online and what has been shared. Looks like a cozy town for Ghostface to drench in some blood. If Scream 8 does shoot next March, we'd presumably be right back in Pine Grove, Indiana. And I'm going to keep crossing my fingers that this isn't a spaced out trilogy. Scream 8 being a week or a couple months later would be ideal if it's just going to be another Sidney affair. The year-long gaps only add to the concern around why are so many people mad at this one woman who is just living her best life. We can agree on that. Sidney Prescott is just living her best life, and people keep wanting to fuck with her. So many fans have expressed it's not believable because we aren't talking about a 1v1 with Michael and Laurie or Chucky and Andy or any of those other 1v1 scenarios in horror. We're talking about a 20v1, and it's not always going to be convincing. You're constantly adding onto this list of people who have beef with this one woman, and from the outside looking in, if you were to present this to someone who's not even familiar with Scream, they might find that a bit laughable and just not want to engage with the franchise and find it completely unrealistic. it's just not as convincing the more you keep doing it, which is where I think having a trilogy that is told over the course of maybe a couple months and not over the course of a couple years will lend itself to reducing the concern around the fact that there's so many people that still all want something to do with Sidney. Maybe some connective tissue or some leftover plot threads from 70 to carry over into 8, carry over into 9, whatever you're going to do. Or leave Sidney alone. Just leave her alone. Let her ride off into the sunset. Find a way for Tatum, her daughter, to take over and go about it from there. Let Gale take over in some capacity if you want to do a Gale-centric film. Or find a way for Kirby to take over if you want to go back to Kirby. Get rid of Sidney. Stop using her. She needs her piece. She deserves it. And is beyond exhausting to continue to be told that she deserves her happy ending, and yet the happy ending is nowhere in sight. Where is it? I don't see it. It doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon either, if you're talking about an alleged trilogy that could be on the way centered around Sidney Prescott. I'm just not up for it, man. I'm not saying it can't be good, because it very well could, but I'm just not all that enthused about this. I need Ghostface to start going after some fresh blood that's not connected to Billy, Maureen, Sam, Sidney. It's done. Get over it. Let us move on. I even don't want to see Kirby anymore. I don't want to see Gale. The franchise itself is just going to become stagnant if they keep this up. But what's going to be their saving grace is that they're never going to produce these movies for anything overly expensive. They're always going to probably produce them for upwards of 40 million max, around that price range, I would hope. If you start going over that, then I think you're going to run the risk of facing box office flops. But Ghostface, Scream, the IP itself, very popular, going to always have an audience if it's marketed well, released at the right time, which Spyglass has been doing a great job with that when it comes to Scream 5 and Scream 6. Yes, there's concern around Cat in the Hat's release date, but we'll see what comes of that. And if anybody who was planning to see Scream 7 ultimately skips it because they got children or whoever that they decide to take to see the Cat in the Hat instead. But you guys let me know what you think about Scream 8 allegedly shooting in March of next year, all down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, turn on post notification so you never miss a video. In the description, I'll have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course, and let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.